Some of y'all really might not like this, and it's okay because let's just be real. The only person that you should be competing with is the person that you were yesterday, the person that took class last week. Training is not a competition, and neither is teaching, okay? And this is something that we're gonna just have to continue to learn in the dance community over time. Like, if you're a talented dancer or quote unquote choreographer, you shouldn't have a problem coming up with your own choreography. If you're late, get your ass to the back. Get your ass to the back, okay? When we're not able to take that feedback, it just means that our ego is way too big. We think that we are above taking any type of feedback from a teacher, and that just means that you're unteachable. Welcome to Let's Just Be Real with me, your host, Marissa Tong. I'm a multi-passionate creative entrepreneur who's on a journey to create my dream life in a world where adulting just gets too real sometimes. On this podcast, we talk about all things beyond surface level to leave you feeling inspired to think bigger, unapologetically prioritize your self-care, and discover your true, authentic self. Think of me as your unfiltered but wise auntie who just wants the best for all of us. So grab your journal or maybe a glass of wine and let's get real. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I am your host, Marissa Tong. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode this week. Happy Wednesday if you're listening to this on a Wednesday. And happy Scorpio season to all my Scorpios. Now, I know this is a bit controversial because it's technically still Libra season on the 22nd. And I get it. I'm a cusp baby. Like, I'm the last day of Scorpio season. I'm the 21st. In case you don't know, okay, I'm November 21st. So I am definitely here for giving the Libras their full season, okay? So if you are listening to this in the morning, in the daytime, it's still Libra season. But if you're listening to this at night, it's already Scorpio season, babe. Okay. Or maybe like technically we can count the 23rd as Scorpio season. Like, I'm not that girl because I hate when people are like on November 21st, it's Sag season. And even though I love both, I have both signs in really big placements in my chart. For instance, my Venus is in Libra, so that's like a huge part of my chart. And then my Mercury is in Sagittarius. So I definitely resonate with both signs and I'm here for it. I'm here for the whole season. Okay. I'm here for October, November, December. These are the months that I thrive. So I'm really excited to step into this new season of life, getting ready for my 34 year. But we're not going to rush that. Okay. We still have a month to go. We still have a month. And the biggest thing that I'm excited for is Wicked for Good. Okay. If you guys know, you know. If you've been listening to this podcast for a minute, you know that Wicked is my birthday. It's just like a birthday tradition at this point. Like 2023, I went to go see Wicked on Broadway with my girl Heather. Shout out to Heather. And then 2024 was when the first Wicked movie came out. So I went to see that on my birthday. And then again on my birthday, second part coming out. So I'm just a Wicked girl. You know, it's just meant to be. Wicked has a huge, I feel like, what's the word? Kind of like mirroring of my life. I resonate deeply with Elphaba in so many ways. I have a podcast episode that I put out last year around this time talking about just like ways that we can relate to Elphaba and the themes of Wicked. So if you guys are interested in that, you can go check out that episode. But we will definitely be catching up when part 2 comes out. So I'm really excited for that. However, today we are not talking about Wicked. Okay, we're not talking about Wicked or Scorpio season. We're talking about dance. All right. It's been a minute since we had a podcast episode talking about dance. And I feel like when the podcast first dropped, you probably heard me talk more about dance. You probably tuned into episodes where I was talking with other dancers in my community about specific topics as far as like dance class etiquette and how to become a better dancer, how to collaborate with other dancers, all that good stuff. And you could definitely go check those episodes out. So we're getting back to my home base. If you guys are just finding this podcast and you have no idea who I am, I actually own a dance and fitness company. So that is like my livelihood. Like, that is my life every single day. Like, I live, breathe, sleep, everything dance. So today we're going to be talking about 8 unspoken rules in the dance world, okay? It's been a minute, but I was just thinking this morning, like, just of some things that I feel like a lot of people don't know, especially if you're coming into the dance world as an adult, right? And that's where my expertise is. I've never really taught kids like consistently. That was never really my thing. And I have a deep passion for teaching adults and helping adults find themselves, find confidence, find connection with their body, their mind, their soul through movement, through dance. So that's something that I'm passionate about. And I feel like that's my expertise. So I wanted to talk a little bit about just some things that like we don't really talk about, in the dance community, or things that could be controversial, or maybe like people don't want to bring it up because it could offend someone, or people might just not know, right? If you are just getting back into dance, maybe you took dance as a child and you took a break from it and you're coming back into it in your like mid 20s, your 30s, even your 40s. Sometimes there's things that like you're not aware of because you haven't been in that space for such a long time, right? And then there's the other side of it. There's dancers who maybe just don't have that self awareness, or they're not taught, or nobody's telling them these things, right? So that's why they're unspoken. So we're going to go through it today. And if you are someone who is currently taking dance, I want you to tap in. Okay. So if you're listening on Spotify, if you're listening on YouTube, you could definitely drop a comment. Let me know if any of these things resonate with you, if these are things that you've thought of before, but you just didn't want to say anything. Okay. Because I'm the girl who's going to say it. Let's just be real. So yeah, let's get into it.
Are you tired of stressing over meal prep, grocery shopping, and figuring out what to cook every single night? I know I am, child, okay? I am not trying to be slaving over the kitchen stove and worrying about washing dishes every single night. It's too much. Running a business is enough for me, honey. So allow me to introduce you to Cook Unity, your personal chef at your fingertips. Cook Unity delivers chef-crafted meals straight to your door, made with high-quality, fresh ingredients. Whether you're craving a hearty pasta, a healthy grain bowl, or something gourmet, there's something for every palate. These recipes are authentic, full of flavor, and created by local chefs who love food just as much as you do. As someone who's always on the go, whether it's teaching fitness classes, choreographing routines, or spending quality time with my friends or my pup, I love how Cook Unity saves me time without sacrificing flavor or nutrition. Plus, I get to try dishes from top chefs that I wouldn't normally have access to. So I can literally switch it up from Chinese to Mexican to Italian to Caribbean. I love it. I love it. I love it. No more takeout guilt, no more boring leftovers, just real delicious meals made just for you. So if you're ready to elevate your weeknight dinners, then head on over to cookunity.com and use my code MARTONG00 to get $60 off your first order. I will put that in the show notes for you so you can get easy access and take you right to the website. Don't forget, put your order in right now, okay? Because they need to know what you're ordering. So even if you don't have the time to put your order in, they will go based off your preferences and your first questionnaire when you go to the website, and you can set up literally like your dietary needs, if you have any allergies, anything like that. So go right now, okay? Cook Unity. This is where convenience meets culinary creativity.
Okay, so number one is going to be always tagging the choreographer. Okay. Now, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, okay? Because ever since dance like really blew up on social media, I feel like there's so many things that like we don't really talk about, right? As far as like rules, like how to post class videos, how to give credit to the choreographer, how to give credit to other dancers, how to tag people, right? How to just, I think when it comes down to it, it's always about credit, right? These are the issues that most dancers and choreographers have in the industry. It's like, oh, like I saw somebody doing my choreography, and that's a whole nother story that we'll talk about. But I saw someone who took my class, they posted a video, but they never tagged me, right? And the thing is, like, when we think about choreographers wanting credit, it has nothing to do with like, oh, like, for some people it could be ego based, but I think it's more of like a protection of art and appreciation of art thing, right? So, for example, if you go to an art museum, right, and you are looking at a bunch of paintings, you're always going to see the signature or the initials of that artist, right? So, who the artist is, right? So even if like they don't have something clearly visible of like explaining, the artist's biography and all that stuff, you still can acknowledge that like someone made this piece of art, right? So it's the same thing when it comes to dance and choreography, right? As a choreographer, I take time to come up with the moves, I take time to teach the moves to my class. I make sure that the class is getting the choreography, that they feel good about it, right? That they ask questions. So it just feels like a good sense of acknowledgement when someone is tagging you as the choreographer, right? Not only can you see your students like executing the moves and you can support them, maybe share it, whatever the case. Like for me, I love when people tag me and my girls after they take class because then we can share it, we can support them, we can make them feel good, right? And you never know who's looking at the end of the day, right? You never know who's looking. If you're an actual like professional dancer where you're going to class and maybe you're looking to get booked, right? Most likely, if you live in LA or New York, that's going to be the case. So it makes sense to tag the choreographer because you don't know who's following the choreographer. You don't know who's going to see your video as a repost. So it just makes a lot of sense to make sure you're tagging, right? And it's just dance class etiquette. Okay. So don't forget to tag the choreographer. Okay. So while we're on the topic of choreography, this is going to get us into number 2. Never teach someone else's choreography, especially without permission. Okay. There are some loopholes which we'll talk about. Okay. For instance, I gave permission to one of my girls today to teach a choreography for like a private party because this group of people requested a certain type of genre, right? A certain type of style. So I'm like, hey, if you want to teach this, you already know it, you took the class, whatever, you did really well at it, like go ahead and teach it. But I think the issue is, and like I've seen this so many times, I've been a victim of it. Like a few years ago on Instagram, someone happened to find someone who like the thing is, like, they didn't steal the choreography. They didn't even happen to learn the choreography. They just stole my video. It was a video of me, but they edited it so that you couldn't see my face and you couldn't tell that it was me if you did not know me. But, people be doing their research and karma's gonna karm. Okay. So the video happened to pop up for one of my girls. They just happened to find it and they sent it to me. So we ended up dropping in the comments of that video, like, girl, are you good? Like, what's going on? We ended up reporting her. I think that page ended up being like deleted or blocked or whatever. I'm not really sure. But that brings us back to like, this is just unacceptable. Okay. This is unacceptable behavior. And I'm going to call out specifically the dance fitness community. Okay. Now, you guys know I've talked about the Zumba community before, instructors in the Zumba community, but I'm going to call out, let's just say the dance fitness space, because I see a lot of people going on YouTube, right? Taking people's choreography, specifically when it comes to dance fitness, and learning it and then teaching it in their class without giving credit, number one. Or maybe sometimes they do give credit, but they were never given the permission to teach that person's choreography in their class. I've had people comment on some of my videos saying, like, hey, I'm going to use this in my class. And recently I had to be like to someone, that's not allowed. Like, this is something that is trademarked. This is something that belongs to my brand specifically. And there's people who are paying to be certified and paying dues in order to get access to this choreography. So, like, you can't just have it. Like you can't just teach it in your class. Like that's crazy, right? So I think with the dance fitness community specifically, like there's almost like this entitlement, right? There's almost like this entitlement as though like all dance fitness choreography is just up for grabs and you could just put it in your class. If you teach any type of dance fitness class, I won't name like all the specific brands that there are. I know I've said Zumba because Zumba is just like the most well-known brand, but there's other formats as well where I see people doing this or I hear of people doing it. And I just think it's so freaking strange. And don't get me wrong, when I first started in the Zumba world, right, when I first started teaching in 2014, I think think I was just so excited and open to teach that I was just uploading my stuff to YouTube, right? My routines. I was just really happy to get my stuff out there, to just get my face out there as a Zumba instructor. So sometimes I would be like, hey, if you want to learn this, like drop a comment or feel free to do this in your class. But again, I was giving verbal permission, right? It was verbal permission in my comments, in my description, that these people could learn it, do it in their class. I don't really care, right? Like most of the moves in Zumba are going to be the same regardless. So I think what happened was like maybe people that were continuing to follow me on YouTube and continuing to follow me on my journey. Some of you guys might have been following me from my Zumba days, right? Some of those people might have been like, okay, well, all the choreo is up for grabs. And the thing is, like, in the dance world, you really have no control, right? There's no like control or policing of like, I know this person in Michigan is doing my choreo, or like, I know this person in Mexico is doing my choreo, right? And I've seen it, I've heard it from other brands, and it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So I'm calling out the dance fitness community, and not just them. I've also seen other people take regular choreography. Like, if you're a talented dancer or quote unquote choreographer, you shouldn't have a problem coming up with your own choreography. Okay. And I think also it's just weird that you took this time and effort and energy to learn someone else's intricate choreography, right? We're not even just talking about dance fitness at this point. I'm talking about like heels choreo, hip hop choreo, um, pop choreo, right? Like you're taking time to learn this other person's choreography through video, right? Most of the time, like you're not taking their actual class, you're learning through video, which I feel like is so much harder. And then you're using that same time and energy to now teach other people and make a profit off of it. That's where I have a problem. It's like you're making a profit off of something that you did not create. That's crazy, right? Like that is crazy. And again, you didn't have permission to do this. So I just find that weird. And that's definitely an unspoken rule that we need to speak more about. Okay, number 3 is going to be coming in late. Okay, coming in late to class. Now, nothing wrong with coming late to class. It happens, right? Like traffic, be trafficking, people get out of work late. It is what it is. Like I'm someone that is chronically late. I try to do better, especially when I'm teaching, but things happen. Okay, so when you're coming into class, you need to stand to the back of the room. You need to go straight to the back of the room, okay? You don't need to be moseying up to the front, standing in the front line, like especially the front line. Are you crazy? Like, and there's exceptions again. Okay, the only exceptions I think would be if you are assisting the teacher, if you are maybe possibly on the team, right? Like you're an instructor as well, and maybe the other dance teacher, choreographer, instructor wants you to be in the front so that other people can see you. But those are like the only exceptions, to be completely honest, right? Or unless the instructor is inviting you from the back to come up to the front. But if you're late, get your ass to the back. Get your ass to the back, okay? Like, and if there's a little spot maybe in the middle, sure, go in the middle. But you don't need to be standing in the front. Like, no, 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 no. That is dance class etiquette, okay? That shouldn't even be an unspoken thing. It should be always talked about. Like, if you're late, get your ass to the back. Okay, number 4 is going to be respecting your classmates' space. Okay, personal space. We love personal space, all right? And this is going to come into effect, especially if you're in a packed class or a class that's full. So here's the rule, right? The rule is going to be arm's length. So if you put out both of your arms, and you're touching someone, right? Especially like touching them a lot, like touching their head and their neck, not even just like their arm or their shoulder. You're too close. You're too close. You need to back up. Okay. And I get it. You could go to classes where it's like over the limit, right? Like over max capacity. And I get it. Like, especially if you're taking classes in LA and New York, like it's going to be a little tight, right? But again, you just have to be able to find your space. Okay. Find your space. Don't be going again in spots where like there's no space for you there, babe. Like you saw that there was no space for you when you came in. Like get to the back, get to the get to the back, okay? But honestly, like we need to learn how to respect other people's space in dance class, okay? Nobody wants to be getting punched in the face or getting hit, getting hair whipped. That's just unnecessary. So make sure you're giving yourself and other people plenty of space. Okay, before we get too real into this conversation, I want to interrupt by inviting you to a very special event happening in 2026. I'm so excited to announce the Soul and Senses retreat in Bali, Indonesia. If you've been craving a reset, the kind that nourishes your body, calms your mind, and reconnects you to your purpose, then let me personally invite you to my retreat, Soul and Senses in Bali, happening April 7th to the 13th in 2026. We'll spend 6 nights in 2 luxury hotels in Seminyak, which is a beautiful, lively beach city. And then we'll spend 3 nights in Ubud, which is the jungle. It's spiritual, it's sacred, it's the place where you can really connect with your soul. We'll be surrounded by palm trees, soul-aligned women, and the most beautiful energy that you've ever felt. You'll experience dance, somatic movement, deep stretching on a daily basis, healing and grounding practices, jungle excursions and private cultural tours, meditations, journaling workshops, and spiritual connection. There are plenty of nights where you can have fun and plenty of nights to also unplug. If you're feeling like, low key and you don't feel like going out, that's okay too. Our retreats are meant to help you follow your intuition and really give your body what it's craving at the time. It's safe, it's sacred, and it's exactly what you didn't know you needed. Spots are limited for this retreat and it's going to sell out. So if you're ready to reconnect with yourself in paradise, definitely make sure you go to our website. It's linked in the show notes. Or you can send me a DM saying Bali on Instagram and I'll send you the link to register. This is not just a vacation, it's a soul shifting experience. So if you're ready to step into the next version of yourself and connect with yourself on a deeper level while being in one of the most beautiful places on earth, then I invite you to book today and I'll see you there. Okay, number 5, this is huge for me. So training is not a competition and neither is teaching, okay? And this is something that we're gonna just have to continue to learn in the dance community over time, right? Like us as educators, it's our job to continue to remind our students of that like it's not a competition, right? When you're taking class, you're there to learn, you're there to train, you're there to improve, you're there to work on yourself, right? So going into class and feeling like, oh my God, I gotta compete with the girl next to me because she's been taking classes longer than me and I feel like I need to prove myself. Or when it comes to teachers, right? Maybe teachers taking other teachers' classes, feeling like they need to show up and show out because they're also a teacher. And it's like, you're here as a student, babe. Like when I go and I take other people's class, I like to stand in the back or the middle. Like I don't need things to be about me because I'm there to learn and to absorb whatever I'm getting from the teacher, right? So I don't need to go and try to prove myself or try to get other people to look at me. So I just think that that's something that I see a lot, or I have seen a lot, depending on, like, again, the environment, the space that you're in. If you're in a class where there's more like professional dancers, you might get that more competitive feel. But I've definitely seen it with students as well. Like in my class, I can literally feel when people are competing with each other or trying to compete with me too, as a teacher. Like I feel like sometimes there's people trying to, show out a little bit, outshine me. And I'm like, go off, sis. Go off, queen. Like, do that because I'm tired. So if you want to go full out, I'm gonna bring it down to like 70% and conserve my energy. And you could do that. Okay. Have your shine. And I feel like you should allow your students to have their shine. Okay. Especially if they're coming, they're paying their money. You don't know what type of day they had. Okay. I mean, they could have had a horrible day and maybe they just want to come and like release all of that negative pent up energy. So allow people to do what they do, right? If that's how they want to show up to class, That's fine, but you shouldn't feel, as an instructor or as a student that like because that person is going ham or going in or maybe like standing next to you and your energy is not matching them that that's a competition. It's that might not even be the case. Like they might not even be thinking about that. They might just be thinking like this song, I love this song. Like I'm going in. Like I'm going into this song. Like I'm going to show out, okay? So we don't always need to take things so personally. Like it is never a competition in dance class. Guess what? The only person that you should be competing with is the person that you were yesterday. Okay? The person that took class last week because we're always looking to get better. So compete with yourself, okay? Watch your old videos. I love to sit down and study myself. I don't know if I've talked about this before in the podcast. I probably have, but I love to study myself. So, watching my old videos, I'm probably just a little bit obsessive. I mean, I'm a Scorpio, okay? We're always obsessing over something, looking to get better, looking to improve, okay? But we have that mindset of like, I'm competing with myself. I'm competing with my old self because I'm constantly rebirthing and transforming, So I want us to have that mentality and quit the competitive bullshit because it's not working for anybody. Okay, number 6. This one might be a little controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. Okay, not every style needs to be your strength. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Not every dance style needs to be your strength. So if you're someone who is primarily trained in maybe, let's say, hip hop, right? You don't need to excel in heels, like, and I'm not saying that you can't cross train. Like, I think cross training is great. I highly recommend it for dancers in order to become a better dancer. However, I'm saying like that doesn't always need to be your strength. You don't always need to strive to be so amazing in that style that like that's just not me, right? And for me, like that's contemporary. For me, that's ballet. There's certain styles where I will take the class and I'll appreciate the training and like, yeah, like I feel like it's going to help me in other areas of dance. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to go and try to be in a ballet performance. I'm not going to go and try to be in a contemporary performance if I feel like that is not my strength. And again, this is not to discourage anyone or to say like you can't train in other styles or you can't excel at them. I think it's possible, but I think that we need to get out of the mentality that we need to be good at every single style, right? As dancers, I think we could be so freaking hard on ourselves and we can sometimes just like overachieve and think that because this person, right, like my friend, she's an amazing salsa dancer, right? So now I need to be an amazing salsa dancer. And instead of being okay with being a good salsa dancer, right, now I'm putting extra stress on myself and maybe adding in that competitive layer where I feel like I need to be the best salsa dancer. And it's like, that's not my strong suit, Like some people, it's like hip hop. This is my shit. Like I'm going into hip hop. For me, that's heels. That's hip hop, right? That's a little sassy commercial, choreography. I'm not going to pretend, right? Especially when it comes to teaching. Okay. When it comes to teaching, you don't need to teach everything. As a teacher, as a choreographer, if that's not your style, if you're not strong at it, if you feel like you need to, again, take other people's choreography because you're not good at it, you don't need to be teaching it. Period. And a lot of people might not like this, right? A lot of people are going to be like, oh, girl, like, you're discouraging dancers. Like, you're telling people to stay in their lane. I am. I am. I love telling people to stay in their lane. And that doesn't mean, again, that you can't get outside of your comfort zone, right? There's a difference between staying in your lane and getting outside of your comfort zone. You can get outside of your comfort zone by doing anything that you're not used to doing, anything that's going to make you feel uncomfortable, right? However, being in that uncomfortable zone does not mean that you are an expert at that thing and that you need to go and try to excel and be the best and stress yourself out and put so much pressure on yourself. Like sometimes the things that make us uncomfortable can just be a hobby. It can just be for fun. It could just be for training. It does not need to become this whole big thing or become a job. So yeah, I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Okay, number 7. I don't know how my jacket is like, it's basically off. I should just take it off at this point. I was taking a yoga class before this. This is actually my second time recording this podcast. I only got through like 5 minutes the first time, but it happened the way it was supposed to because I was literally rushing to a yoga class. I wouldn't even have been able to finish this recording, so it's fine. And I'm happy that I took yoga because I feel so much better now. But number 7 is going to be knowing how to receive constructive criticism and feedback is going to take you so far. It's going to take you so far, okay? And this is something that I've definitely run into issues with people, my students, people in my community with, because I'm someone that is honest. I'm someone that is transparent. I'm someone that gives feedback. I don't really hold my tongue depending on the person. Okay. Sometimes you could tell when people are like very, very sensitive, or when they're going to take something wrong, or when it's just going to start problems, right? But when it comes to maybe you training someone for something, let's say like a show or a performance, or they're hiring you, right, to train them to get better in something, like you have to, as a teacher and a choreographer, know how to give constructive criticism, right? If you're just going to be someone that's so nice and everything, oh my God, you look so good. Oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, you're doing a great job. Oh yes, your foot looks amazing. That bevel, perfect, right? At some point, you become a liar. Right. And we don't want to be called liars as dance teachers. We want to be honest. And again, there are different scenarios and settings where this is going to be appropriate. So when it comes to dance fitness, right, people are coming to your dance fitness class for fun. Nobody is there to be perfect. Nobody is there because they want to perfect a bevel, right? Or they want to perfect a freaking passe. Like they're there because they want to have fun. They might want to drop some pounds. They want to stay active. They want to get their cardio in, right? And some of them might want to excel and eventually become an instructor, right? But I think I'm talking more so when it comes to choreography, right? Like specific styles of dance. So we have to know as dance teachers how to give that constructive criticism and feedback without being super, super rude, right? There's definitely a way to say it. There's a way to come off to people and be respectful. But also, as students, we need to learn how to take that criticism, how to accept that feedback, how to be humble, right? And how to apply it. So if somebody is telling you something and maybe it's been 2-3 times that they're telling you the same thing, it's probably because that's something you need to work on, right? So if you're being so offended that this person is trying to correct your form or correct your arms or tell you that you need to strength train or whatever the case, like, why are you getting upset when they're trying to help you? Like they are literally trying to mold you to be a better, stronger dancer. So when we're not able to take that feedback, it just means that our ego is way too big, right? We think that we are above taking any type of feedback from a teacher, and that just means that you're unteachable. So if you're unteachable, you can't be a student, so you might as well just go teach, right? And I think the best thing that happens to people like that is they go and maybe they do teach, or maybe they do get into a space where they're able to smooth their way into like some type of performance or some type of dance company, and they get a huge reality check later, right? They get a huge reality check, whether that's dealing with someone who is a little bit more strict, or just being in a performance where they don't make the cut. Maybe they do get cut, maybe they just end up like getting into it with someone who's not as nice, like you're always gonna find someone who is not as nice as the person who was giving you that initial kind and respectful feedback. And again, there's always a way to approach giving people constructive criticism and feedback, but we also need to know how to accept that as dancers. Are you ready to dance, sweat, and level up your confidence, all from the comfort of your own home? Well, guess what, baddie? Our online dance and fitness classes are officially live. This means no matter where you are in the world, you can tap into our signature energy, real vibes only. As a member, you get 24/7 access to dance tutorials, full body workouts, stretch sessions, and our growing library of most requested combos. We have over 100 plus videos on demand, so you can do them whenever you want. Oh, and it gets better. Every membership includes a full Rhythm and Pumps Heels Fundamentals course with 10 powerful modules designed to help you feel 10 times more confident dancing in heels or without. So if you're ready to build your skill, your strength, your self-love, your confidence, get into our on-demand programs and memberships. We have 2 memberships available, and you can choose them based on your budget or based on your current goals. You can join Rhythm and Pumps, which starts at only $19.99 a month. This is for the girl who's trying to get into her heels bag, okay? 24/7 access to all of our heels combos, all of our training modules, and choreo sessions. Again, that Fundamentals 101 course is going to be key to starting your heels journey, girl. You also get access to our community group online, so you can hype each other up, you can get notified when we drop new tutorials and all that good stuff. Plus, you're gonna get flexibility in core training. Our second membership is our Real Rhythm Unlimited membership. Now, this is our most popular, okay? It is premium and it's only $10 more than Rhythm and Pumps. You get all access training, so workouts on demand with or without weights. You get access to various dance classes and choreo tutorials, including hip hop, heels, and commercial pop, guided meditations with myself, affirmations, all that mindset work that you need to feel your best from the inside to the out. And you also get access to our online community and exclusive live streams every single month. So if this sounds like something you're trying to get into, I invite you to check out our online memberships by heading over to www.realrhythmdanceandfitness.com and check out the special promo code in the show notes for Let's Just Be Real podcast listeners only. You're welcome, and I'll see you online. Okay, and we made it to our last unspoken rule. This is gonna be number 8, okay? And some of y'all really might not like this, and it's okay, because let's just be real, okay? So if you are a super beginner in any type of style, in any type of dance, you don't need to be in the front row. You do not need to be in the front row. You need to be somewhere in the middle, okay? Maybe even the third line, fourth line. I wouldn't always recommend standing all the way in the back as a beginner, because guess what? Then you can't see, then you're getting lost, then you're just like in the back, you're comfortable in the back, you're probably hiding. And I don't think that's a good place if you really want to learn. Honestly, I think you should be somewhere between the 3rd and the 5th row, obviously depending on like the size of the class and all of that. But if you are a super beginner, meaning that you've never taken that style of dance before, you've never tried that class before, you are not comfortable in that style, you don't need to be in the front row. And here's why. Number 1, you're going to throw off the class, right? So if there's people behind you who may be also beginners, right? Or it could be people who have been taking the class and maybe they can't see, or you're in front of them, whatever, like you're going to throw them off. You're also going to throw off the teacher. There's been plenty of times where I've been thrown off by people, and I hope that no one like gets offended by this, and it is what it is. But I've definitely been thrown off by people when it comes to counts, when it comes to the beats, when it comes to the timing, right? Because at the end of the day, like as teachers, as choreographers, like it helps us to see everybody in sync, right? And there's so much that's happening. I think people don't realize for dance teachers, there's so much happening at once, right? We are trying to retain the choreography, okay? We are trying to teach the choreography. We are trying to keep up with the energy, or keep the energy up in the class. And we are trying to articulate, if you're someone who's speaking and teaching the choreography verbally. So there's a lot that's happening at once, okay? This goes for dance fitness classes and this goes for choreography classes. Both are the same, okay, when it comes to needing to keep up, right? So if you are first timer, right, and you have no idea what's going on, completely lost, right? Maybe you're throwing yourself into like a advanced beginner heels class, but you are super beginner, never take a heels class before. If you stand in the front, I kid you not, like you probably won't even want to come back to that class, because you're you're going to be front and center. People are going to be looking at you. It might make you feel insecure, right? The teacher might be a little annoyed that you're standing in the front. So you might get a side eye, or you might just not feel comfortable. And then you're going to get discouraged and not want to come back. So I would highly recommend, if you are a beginner, get your ass to the middle. Okay, you're gonna feel comfortable there. There's probably gonna be some people around you who know what they're doing. You could even like, hey girl, hey, what's that move? What's that move? Can you show me that? Right? Can you show me that move? Or you're just behind someone who knows what they're doing. So you're able to follow them as well as the instructor. So you have a little bit more support and cushion around you. Okay. And again, this is not to offend anybody. If you're a beginner and you've stood in the front before and maybe it's worked out for you, I'm happy that it did, but don't do that shit again. Okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're stressing a lot of people out in class. Okay. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode today. These were some real thoughts. Okay. But this is something that we really need to talk about as dancers. Like, I don't see enough people talking about these things. And I feel like it's because they're afraid to offend people. I feel like they're afraid of people not coming to their class or people labeling them like, oh my God, she's such a bitch. Like, we need to stop like labeling teachers and choreographers as bitches when they are honest. Especially when they are people that are actively building community, when they are people who want to see their students get better, they want to get better, right? Like, I'm saying this with love. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying this to be nasty or to make anybody feel bad about themselves. Like, I'm saying all of this because I wish that people told me when I first started taking adult classes. Okay. I've definitely been that girl that was like, ooh, let me get to the front because I can dance, right? Like, we think sometimes like, oh, because I can dance like naturally, or when I'm at a party, I can dance, where it's like dancing at a party and dancing in a structured dance class, two different things, two completely different things. Okay. So we end up just getting that reality check when we take classes, and that's okay. That's how we learn, right? So I wish that sometimes people told me these things like a couple years ago. And as someone who's a mentor and as someone who teaches other instructors how to lead, how to build up their classes, how to build their confidence in front of the room, I think that these are really, really important things that we all need to just be aware of. So I hope you guys, again, enjoy this episode. Share this video, share this episode with a friend. Okay. Send them the link right now. Send them the link right now. Whether it's a dance teacher, whether it's a dance fitness instructor, just send them this. Okay. And any clips that you see on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, share it. Okay. Share it to your story, repost it, all that good stuff. And again, thank you guys so much for listening. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure you leave a rating and review. Okay. I think on Apple, you can only leave. No, Spotify, you can only leave ratings, I think. Apple, you can actually write out reviews. So please take the time. That would help me out so much. We're going into a new year. I have so many huge goals. Like, you guys don't even know. Okay. You have no idea the things that I'm trying to do. Okay. And it's all to benefit all of us, this community. I want to see us continue to grow. I want us to live our best lives. I want us to thrive. Okay. Hydrated and thriving. Let's go. And if you guys are not in my broadcast channel on Instagram, make sure you guys go join if you are on Instagram. I be dropping gems in there. I be dropping affirmations. I be dropping all the things that we need, just like random channel thoughts. So definitely make sure you go join my broadcast channel on Instagram. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, share, engage. Okay. All of these things are free. Free 99, okay, to support. So again, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in another episode. Bye.